What it is, y'all, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you today with more Danmachi. Today we're talking about Boss 1-4. And yes, this video was due out yesterday. Little delay in production, but let's talk about this. You still got 2 weeks to finish it, don't sweat that. Basically, this event requires you not a whole lot out of you. So long as you're not running a fire team or I think it's a wind team, you should be pretty much fine. Water is the one that has the lowest resistance. I don't know why I've got to drop an item there, but I do. Water is the one that's got the lowest resistance, so I built a little water team over here. There it is. And this is, I wouldn't say a beastly team, but, you know, this has got a few more MLBs than we normally run on a team. But keep in mind, this Estia and that Aina are free to play. Now, I am using the Freya assist that is on Reveria, and Reveria is not going to be the best unit for this team. But because of that, I'm going to use her. She is capable of finishing this. Usually takes about 20 or so turns, so it's not the greatest. But I want to show you teams that are less than optimal, because I could go in here and show you a whale team. Where's the fun in that? Let's actually go in here with a team that's not on the best side, and let's talk about this. Now, before you start complaining about the Freya assist that I actually have on Reveria, because I know that's coming in the comment section, I've seen y'all. That is not the optimal assist. The best assist is Demeter, and I do not have her at all. I will say before you go in here, you definitely want to take this on with a magic team, not a physical team, because one of the things that is going to happen in here is Eyes will buff her physical defense, not her magic defense, just her physical defense. So if you're using physical, even with the best teams, it's going to take you about as long as it's going to take me here with this. So I would recommend very, very strongly that you consider using a magic team. That's my 2 cents, however. So, what does Eyes do? Well, we'll get to that here in just a second. There we go. Basically, it is this Eyes right here. I mean, very simply put, she does everything this Eyes does. Okay? She'll do Hot Wallop. That is a physical resist and fire resist down 30%. You got to watch out for that. She will debuff you. Tap Floor. That's a physical resist and magic resist plus 30% for herself. She'll buff herself. You got to watch out for that. Allies. Strength, fire, and attack damage. She'll buff everyone else, but there's no one else on her team, so that acts as a self buff. And she will do her SA. Now, she'll do this without any real fanfare, but look for the words Tempest on air when they pop up. That's going to be a big hit that we're going to need to watch out for. So let's go in here and talk about this and talk about how to safely handle this team to the best of your ability. So first things first, I'm going to do Haruhime's big debuff, Line's 33% SA gauge charge. Then I'm going to do the magic and water attack damage buff with Reveria. Y'all yelled at me for that on stream. And we're going to go ahead and do the MP buff with Haruhime, the second Haruhime, the winter Haruhime. I'm not quite ready to do her big defensive buff. I'm going to do that on turn 3. You'll see. You'll see here in a moment. Okay. Now, we do have strength buffed. And the nice part is, if I do this attack here, that will remove the strength skill. Now, I do have the Leafia coming in here, and that's just so we can debuff magic and water resistance, because water, like I said, is the optimal team. As you can see here, physical is 20% defended. That will be actually buffed to 40%. Magic is 0. Now, Earth, Dark, and Light are all 0. Thunder is minus 20, but Water is minus 40, and we've already debuffed it down to 55%. About to add another 30% to that. So Water really is kind of your best bet here. All right. Fingers crossed Leafy doesn't croak. Nope. Good. Perfect. Now, I do have the Chigusa unit on here. Chigusa has no dupes either. And basically what we're going to do with Chigusa is we're just going to basically be spamming SAs. So that does mean that more or less Chigusa is just going to kind of... She's not really be a main attacker, but she will help. She will definitely help. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the Water Cloak one more time. That's going to be the big buff, and that will include Chigusa in that buff. Snow Illusion will buff her defenses, and Yosuga will once again replicate everything that we've had going on. Pretty straightforward stuff. From this point on, there's not a whole lot that that can be done to damage us. Now, I do want to do Dancing Snow here and Whelming Water. Actually, in fact, I'm going to do Swelling Wave because that's going to be a big buff for everybody else. I'm going to do Chigusa's single target attack because as good as her AoE is, we don't need it. We're going to do single target. So Yosuga, White Crane, Swelling Wave, and Dancing Snow. Dancing Snow should remove all the buffs and debuffs on us, and that's going to be really, really good. We are going to do a double SA here in just a moment. So that's part of the reason that I want to do that. I want to remove all debuffs that are currently chilling on all my units. Physical resist down, so I need to get rid of that. No. Alright, perfect. So this turn I'm going to do Dancing Snow one more time. Basically spam what we did before. Normally I want to do the MP buff skill, but here I think that's going to be better because I wanted to make sure that there was no major debuff on, on Reveria. Almost called it Ryu again. Now, unfortunately, there is a strength buff on Eyes. Not a lot I can do about this. I'm going to do a double SA this turn, and I need the MP regeneration, so we're just going to kind of try to tank this hit. The biggest issue is if she does her SA with that strength buff activated, it's going to feel bad. Very, very bad. And she could actually harm, maybe even kill our units. The one thing to do be aware of with Eyes, though, is that Eyes does single target attacks only. She will not AoE. So every attack she does is a targeted attack. That gives you a huge advantage. Doesn't mean she hits a little harder, but it's a huge advantage. Alright, excellent. Oop, and I apologize for that. Alright. So here we go. In this turn, I'm going to go back to doing Yosuga. All of our debuffs should remain in play, and they are White Crane, Swelling Wave, and Snow Silver. Once again, Snow Silver being the MP regeneration buff, we are going to want to continue buffing that. I'm going to do double SAs with Chigusa and Reveria going forward because they both have roughly the same buff and they both do roughly the same amount of damage, I would think. In fact, Chigusa might do it just a tiny bit more, if I'm completely honest. Except Chigusa is an AoE and Reveria is a single target. That actually could even it out, but we're aiming for double SAs. Double SAs are going to do a lot more damage than single targets, so I think they're going to be our best bet at this juncture. There we go. As long as I can keep the MP regeneration in play with Winter Haruhime, we will be good. Now, I want to be cautious here. Double check. Alright, so my physical resistance is down, but I'm not debuffed to the point where we're going to be taking less damage. Fire Attribute is buffed, but... I'm sorry. Yeah, Fire Attribute and Strength are buffed, but notice her resistance isn't buffed. So we're going to do double SA with Chigusa and Reveria. Let's do this. Pay close attention to the damage done. Remember, Chigusa is an AoE unit, and Reveria is a single target. Neither one has buffs. Ooh. I take that back. It might be better just to do them with Reveria. So, that's okay. Mistakes were made. Live and learn. Ooh, nice, though. Very nice. Good hits out of her. Like that. Alright. So we're going to go back to doing Swelling Wave, White Crane. So the answer is, I thought she would do at least a little bit more damage, but nah. Now, do bear in mind, Eyes has 8 million health, so we're going to just basically have to just hammer down on her until she just can't anymore. There we go. So we're going to go back to doing Yosuga. We're going to go Swelling Wave. Let's make sure she doesn't have any debuffs in place. She does not. They all expired, so we're going to do an SA. Lego. You're going to see we're basically spamming SAs at this point, and that's because we have a unit that does 100% SA gauge charge. We have an assist that does 100% SA gauge charge. Everybody else is getting 33%. That's why that build in the beginning is so important. Now, do bear in mind we are getting a 400k per hit. That's kind of the dwindling power of a unit with no assists. Or, I say no assists. No bonds. She has an assist, thank goodness. That would kind of be crappy if she didn't. That is the detriment of a unit with no bonds. So we are definitely not in the optimal situation. Perfect. We've got SA again, and we'll have a double S. We'll have an SA in the turn after that. So magic resist, fire resist is all up. So I'm just going to do this. And on the next turn, we'll do an SA. Okay. She is lacking any major defenses. And I'm going to do Dancing Snow this time around only because I want to make sure that if she does re-debuff herself, or buff herself technically, then she'll... those buffs will be removed fairly quickly, and we can go back to doing what we need to do. Unfortunately, as you see here, everything did take effect after Haruhime had attacked, so it's not going to be as effective. But I digress. The next SA's got it, so here we go. Boom, boom. I'm going to do a double SA again. I don't need to, but the main reason I'm going to do it is just to get the extra damage out. Tiny bit of extra damage, but it should be more than enough to throw her over the edge. That was way better than before. Still not great, but way better. And that tells you the difference in power. So Reveria, what you got? You got 500? 423. And Chigusa hit for what, under a third of that? So most of the time that does tell you that if you have like double enemies, still single target is the best way to go. If you have 3 or more enemies, AoE is the best way to go. It's kind of the rule of thumb, not always the closest, but generally speaking. So we did get an A clear out of this. We didn't lose any members. We completed the quest. Haven't done it in 9 turns, but I'm going to be real. With this team, you're not going to. So the main key ingredients here are make sure you have somebody that can remove debuffs. Because debuffs are paramount. I'm sorry to say debuffs. Buffs to herself. Have somebody that can remove those. Winter Haruhime is a great choice. Make sure that you... what was I going to say? It is late, guys. My apologies. But basically make sure you have all your defenses in place, because if you don't, you're going to hate life. They're going to wipe you out real quick. You didn't even see what their SA was capable of, but without as much defense that I have, and obviously offensive debuffing with the original Haruhime, defensive buffing with the new Haruhime, some of the assists that I had in play, without them, we'd have gotten hit for 3, 4, and 5k when she does her SA. So you got to be cautious about that. Defensive assists are number 1, way more important than attacking assists. But that's going to be the video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back at you guys with more Danmachi here very, very soon.